So you're the new principal. I expected you to be more aged.
You seem a bit young to have such a grown-up daughter.
No, sister.
Oh, right. Of course.
You didn't really think she's my... It's my hair. I have mom hair.
No.
I actually have heard of you, Miss Summers. You graduated from the old high school, am I right?
Yeah. How did you...
Well, I better get back to work. It's got to start deadening young minds. It's really nice to meet you. You have fun.
Hey y'all, we are back with yet another episode of Revisiting Sunnydale. This is episode number 127, and we are entering season 7. I'm Camila.
I'm Marcella.
I am so excited to get to this final season of Buffy.
I just wish it was better.
It has its moments here and there, but yeah, overall it's just kind of like, everybody just kind of stopped trying, huh?
It really did. Some of them just stopped coming to work altogether.
But even though we shall power on. Yeah, so all right, so while we're here, while we're just doing housekeeping, keep in touch with us. Facebook, Revisiting Sunnydale. Twitter, @Back2Sunnydale. Instagram, RVS_podcast. Right now, we're on Apple Podcasts, Libsyn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, and Player FM. Which, you know, and also a couple of things. We've just been pointed out that sometimes, for whatever reason, there's like a chunk of the episodes that are not in order. So
it's a fun game we like to play.
Right. So there's that. That's one. So like it'll jump from episode 30 to like episode 60 or something like that. So just kind of be mindful, like they're numbered. So be mindful of the numbers if that is important to you. You know, you're trying to like stay in order. And also, speaking of numbers, it looks like somewhere way back when I skipped a number in numbering episodes. Number 49 does not exist. So in case you're like looking around, it doesn't exist because I didn't number it as such. I'm not going back to change it. This is something that I have just come to terms with within the last 10 minutes. So hopefully we can all get through this together.
When you're over 40 people, sometimes you just got to let the small shit go.
Right.
Let it go. Or it's going to eat you alive.
Exactly.
And we have decided to just let this one go.
Exactly. Let it go.
Let it fade away.
Yep. Just walk away from it. Just walk away. I'm not going to. I just can't. Yeah, we'll work through this together. It's fine. 49 does not exist. So after that.
It's spring.
Yeah, with all the super rain to go along with it. And, you know, there have been so spring also means a lot of times there's like some new programming. Like things are all like jacked up sometimes, like from when we were growing up, like TV programming.
There were TV seasons when we were growing up, kids. There was a fall season.
Right.
And then they took a break. And then reruns were on. These things called reruns.
Right. Then Sweeps Week.
Remember those? Yes.
Sweeps.
And then Sweeps Week when someone you loved was going to die.
Right.
Or be harmed in a way, or a surprise character would come back.
Right.
And then it would go away again. And then it would come back for a spring finale.
Right.
Where again, there was danger, sex,
right,
and children. That was always the big one. We're going to end on a child.
Yeah.
We're going to leave you thinking all summer. But we don't really have that now. We have shortened, condensed seasons that rotate by season. So you've got your spring shows, your summer shows, your fall shows, and some that cross overall.
And then the ones that also like take those random breaks in the middle of it all too. It's like, oh, well, like episodes have been on, you know, new episodes have been happening, and now it's like fucking February. It's like, we'll see you guys in May. Like, what?
Wait, and that's why I am 6 episodes behind on Prodigal Son. I forgot.
Same. And also, and me, like Big Sky, like I thought it ended when it ended, like when the thing happened.
So good.
Yeah, like when the big thing happened, when like the big conclusion happened, I was like, oh, okay, that's season 1. Well done. All right.
And then like, we're taking 1 week off, and then we're getting this going again. I'm like, really?
And then I saw it back in my DVR. I was like, huh? I thought you were done.
And they just got renewed for a season 2.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah. Like, okay, even though you lied to me from the start, that's fine.
Oh my God. I was
you sold me a bill of goods that you did not deliver on.
Right. But But, I mean, to be fair, if that had not been their selling point, I probably would have never given it the time of day.
Not even a minute.
Not just based on those two ladies.
Nope.
Like, they're fine. They're doing fine. I'm still not really convinced with their acting and their characters and all that stuff.
I had to look up the one. I was like, you're so familiar. She had that Mark Paul Gosselaar baseball show that I really liked that got canceled, and I forgot about it. I was like, that's why your face is familiar. I should have supported you. It's my bad. It's my fault.
So yeah, those are like the things I am watching like currently: Big Sky, Prodigal Son, Queen Sugar. I've been binging a lot of the new SVU or new Law and Order, Organized Crime. Elliot Stabler is back.
Watched that.
I mean, if you love Stabler, then that's the thing for you. It's that scratches that itch.
I gave up on police procedurals about 2 years ago. I had to walk away. It was too much.
Oh, just too much drama and crime and agony. Yeah, I've been on a SVU kick like since when Stabler was announced that was happening. I was like, well, I need to go back and revisit some old Stabler, and I've been on this whole old SVU kick on Hulu, and I mean it's good stuff, and you just forget how sexy Chris Maloney is.
He is. He really is. And they're good shows. It just, what happened was I got tired of a city of this. So it was Chicago Med, Chicago PD, Chicago Fire. Then you had like CSI New York, CSI Miami, CSI, and then NCIS New Orleans. And I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Right. Like 911 is now like the Austin, Texas one. I was like, nope.
Oof. I tried that one. It's
I'm
nowhere
not
near as good.
I refuse. I will never. Like, y'all can do all the crossovers you want. I will never know.
That's the only episode you're going to get me for is a crossover because I care about these characters.
Right.
And they're trying to tell me, they're like, well, we got rid of Liv Tyler. We brought you Gina Torres.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, oh, you bastards. But she's not enough, damn it. She is not enough to make me watch this show.
Nope, I won't do it. I won't.
Because I'm not, and Hoyt from
True Blood.
True Blood.
I keep seeing him in the trailers, like, oh, good for him, and I keep moving because of
Hoyt.
Right.
Oh, speaking of True Blood, the last thing we're watching that I'm watching this spring, I watched Mortal Kombat. Did you watch it?
No.
Eggs.
Is
Jax.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I've been doing reaction videos, and the moment when I realized that the video is hilarious.
So tell the folks about your reaction videos that you've just started.
Yes, I started 2 months ago. I was like, I sit around the house a lot. I don't do anything. Why don't I just film myself doing nothing and see if other people want to watch it? Turns out they do.
Nice.
So I react to trailers, some movies, TV shows. I've just started doing The Bad Batch, and they're all up on YouTube under my Hello Marcella channel. Sweet. You can find them under Watch with Marcella or Hello Marcella.
So go on, hop on over there, hit subscribe, watch the videos, and that'd be a good way to kind of keep in touch with Marcella and what she's up to when I'm super slow in editing and posting these podcasts. And messing up numbering.
Just so you know, editing is hard.
It is a difficult job.
But it's all worth it when you guys like it. So
yes.
Don't forget to like our stuff.
Please. And leave reviews and ratings and stuff like that too, because that's super helpful. Also, I just saw in our email, and it might, like, I don't know if we got some listener email. And I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I just want to give a shout out to William Stewart for reaching out to us. He is a grown-ass man who loves Buffy, and apparently, like, he works at a school at night, and we help. He says, I quote, "We are so fucking funny," and it helps him. It helps make his night go a little bit better. So thank you, William, for taking the time.
Thank you, William.
Taking the chance on us, on listening, and also taking the time to send us a delightful email. We appreciate all correspondence, but it's obviously we really like the ones that say that we're fucking funny.
Right. I had one person complain that I talked too much during my reaction.
What are you supposed to
Do you know what a reaction
do?
is? Let me define the word reaction for you.
Right. What are you supposed to do? Like, watch me watch something?
Right.
Like,
now I'm scared of you. Watch me watch you. Watch. No.
So yeah, all right. So if you guys would like to send us some wonderful emails that help boost our day and boost our spirits and prop us up and gas us up and make us feel all super special and about ourselves.
Send them our way.
Yes, revisiting sunnydale@gmail.com. We're always looking for that kind of stuff. And tell your friends.
Yeah. Where's our dancing monkey? We need that little top hat dancing monkey.
All right, so moving forward. Season 7, Episode 1, Lessons. Original air date September 24th, 2002. Written by, directed by David Solomon. Sunnydale High is reopened and with a new designed campus and a new principal, Robin Wood. It is Dawn's first day at school, and Buffy accompanies her to class only to discover evil spirits lurking in the basement. Important guest stars: Anthony Stewart Head as Giles, D.B. Woodson as Principal Robin Wood, Danny Strong as Jonathan.
Bishop, yeah, Bishop, and going to Mexico, I think. Isn't there a scene where they're showing up going to Mexico? I think there is.
I didn't see that. Callie Roca as Halfrick, Mark Metcalf as the Master, Juliet Landau as Drusilla, Harry Groner as Mayor, Richard Wilkins, George Hertzberg as Adam, Claire Kramer as Glory, Adam Bush, Warren Mears, Alexandra Breckenridge as
Breckenridge. She's Kit Holborn. She goes to school with Dawn.
Oh, her little friend. So yeah, it's a lot of new faces, a lot of old faces coming back to return. And
yeah, if you just saw that list in like the TV guide, you'd be like, what in the fuck is happening in this first episode?
Seriously. And just, apropos of nothing really, and this is just really kind of off topic, but reading George Hertzberg's name reminded me of a rabbit hole I went down last night on Google about German words for things that we don't have words for, and one of them was a punchable face. I'm not even going to try to how to pronounce it, but I guarantee you I am working on it. I am, because I need that in my vocabulary.
I have to look that up right now.
It's a difficult 27 letter word. And I also there's a whole another list of 20 other words that are similar to that don't have a real English translate. And I'm like, I want to learn German.
I'm taking German lessons. It is a difficult language. I'm very bad at the umlauts and the oops and oats. It's really hard. I can read it slightly, much better than I can speak it.
That's a start.
But Duolingo's free, and hey.
Yeah, exactly. That's a start.
When I'm bored, I'm trying to learn a language.
Nice.
This season, where we left off last year, Tara's dead, Willow's in rehab, and Xander apparently saved the world with a crayon. And Buffy has found some newfound respect for Dawn and decided she's going to lead her sister out into the world and into the sunshine and walk handy dandy together.
Da da da.
Sure. Jonathan and Andrew have left and fled for Mexico, and we start this season in a completely different country.
Istanbul.
And for some reason, when I remember when this happened, I was like, did I turn on the wrong show?
Right.
What's happening? Why do I care about this girl?
Right.
And then she just straight up gets murdered.
Right. So she's being chased through the streets and then is killed. Moving on.
It's like, okay, I guess I don't have to care about this girl.
Right.
Thanks for nothing.
Moving on. Now we're in the graveyard with Dawn and Buffy. And Buffy has decided to train Dawn. Finally.
She made good on her promise.
Finally.
I mean, right?
It doesn't.
All the problems you've had the past 2 years, if you'd have just trained her from the get-go.
Right. It
You wouldn't have had these problems.
doesn't make any sense why she would have waited this long. It's not like it's not like saying, okay, I'm going to train you how to defend yourself against these things. And so that means you can come out with us and patrol. No. You just know how to protect yourself if
Right.
and when I'm not around.
Yeah.
So-
And I'm not trying to watch you 24/7.
Right.
I got shit to do. I can't. It's not Tuesday. Dawn's in trouble. It's Tuesday. Dawn, take care of yourself.
Right. Dawn, I need you to handle your own business for once.
This vampire's hilarious, though.
So, Buffy's speechifying and, trying to pass it off as giving lessons and telling Dawn, the whole thing is that, who's got the power? Dawn. And Dawn's like, I've got the stake. Buffy's like, that stake's not the power. He's a vampire. He's got, dead. He's already dead. He's got nothing to lose, da-da-da. Dude's trying to come out of his grave. And then he's like, excuse me. It seems that my foot is stuck on a root or something. Could one of you ladies help me out?
If they weren't there, would he have just been would he have just died in the morning, like when the sun came up?
Probably.
Did you really not have the strength to get yourself out of that hole? And how many vampires does that happen to?
Right? How embarrassing. Like that.
To make my foot stuck on a root.
So Buffy pulls him out, and he gets ready to go on and attack her. She's like, "No, you don't want me. I'm the Slayer. What you want is her." Not sensing that this is a setup, he goes after Dawn.
And Dawn's just she squares up,
Yeah,
bring it.
right.
She's ready.
She
And then she
managed. She missed the heart. She tries to stake him, but she manages to hold her own pretty well with a couple of rolls and dodges and stuff. And eventually,
Till she fucks it up and almost dies.
yeah. And then dude actually manages to get his teeth into her, but Buffy snatches him up.
Buffy let that go on too long.
Yeah, that could have been yeah. So Buffy gets him, kills him, and Dawn's like, I'm okay. But then Buffy gives Dawn a very rare compliment and tells her that she did a good job. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That there's maybe twice she's ever said anything nice to her like that.
And she identifies with her. She tells her, I missed the heart my first time too.
Right. And then,
And Dawn's like, oh, you did?
and then she goes back to being Buffy and is like, nah, just the once though.
Yeah.
Just the one time.
All right, Buffy. You give me an inch. And I think I like you.
Yep.
And then, no, you couldn't let her have that. You couldn't let her just feel equal to you for 1 second.
Nope.
All right. And then we're going to see our boy. And his coat.
I hate that coat.
I love it. I love it so much.
I don't understand the duster.
He lives in an English castle estate. He rides horses.
I just don't understand the duster in general. Not why he's wearing it. I get why he's wearing it and why it's appropriate, but I just don't understand what the purpose of it actually is.
So much material.
Right. Why, if you live in that environment and ride horses, why is that the necessary attire? Why? Why do you need the extra material on your shoulders to kind of swoop out? But
I skipped over our brief introduction of Robin and the cutting of the ribbon at the high school because it's so weirdly placed before the credits, and then they skip it.
Yeah.
So I skipped it, but it is there, just so you know.
They probably just should have left that out right there, because they do this. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So Giles is in England with Willow, and Willow
at his actual estate, guys. This is where Anthony actually lives.
Way to humble brag.
Right? Right?
Yeah, we could just shoot in my place.
Shoot in my place. Make sure you get the sprawling estate in the back. Did you get it? Yeah. It's gorgeous.
It's amazing.
This is where you live? No wonder you didn't want to come back.
Seriously, I would never. It's everything would be working from home.
Mm-hmm. Every single place. No, you guys can come here. I got more than enough room.
Which I need to pay more attention, go figure out a little bit more about what he was doing. What was his career like before Buffy? How you just,
right?
I can't imagine at season 7, maybe he put away enough enough coin to get that
Of that
together?
coffee money. Remember he was doing those
Right.
coffee
Yeah. Was it
commercials?
Folgers?
Yeah. How much was the residuals on that? Is that
Right.
still coming in? Are those commercials still playing somewhere in the world?
So,
But he took Willow
yeah,
home.
to rehab. And Willow seems, she seems a little bit more like herself, a little more depressed and a little, but
Introspective.
yeah,
Still doing shit she really shouldn't be doing, though.
fucking around with flowers growing out of and stuff. But
In
okay,
a region it's not supposed to grow.
right. You know
And
that.
even he's like, is that supposed to be here? No, but
But it's all connected. Listen, she's apparently, Willow is a little tentative. Obviously, she's scared to go back into the real world and leave that safety net of the coven, which is like some of the most powerful women that she's ever encountered, and also she feels that they're scared of her, which not their fault. Which
and
understandable.
Understandable, very understandable. And she is, it's a weird kind of complexity that she has. She expected him to take her there and put her down, which really, you thought that the whole way on the flight?
Yeah, like what was he like? What was that flight like? Was he just not speaking to you? Were you mute? Were you not speaking to him? Like what? I feel like there could have been some explanations because there's a whole thing that has to happen. It's not like he just put you in the back of his car and drove you. Like you go, there's customs. Right, there's customs. You got to pass security. Like you got to did you pack a bag? Did you?
Right. Did you teleport? Because then, okay, I could see how maybe you didn't have time to process. But she even says, instead, you went all Dumbledore on me.
It's fun that that's what you take away from that exchange. And she's like, I thought you were going to kill me or lock me away forever. And Giles is like, do you want to be punished? And
you're like, huh? Can you say that one more time?
And an extremely sweet and loving, caring conversation turns extremely filthy in my head.
Now it's awkward.
Things have gone awry. I have blacked out. I'm no longer listening to anything I say. And the next thing you know, end credits. I'm like, what happened? I went off on a completely different mind tangent.
Well, one thing about I don't know why, but they love to throw around the word Gaia. Every time they start talking about magic, they're like, Gaia, root systems. And back in season 4, she mentioned something about Gaia and the moon and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, stop throwing around this deity's name. It's like Xander being near the books.
Right.
Just stop invoking this lady's name.
Right. Yeah. Don't do that, guys. Let's not just throw around these random names. And
Can I ask who made the mailbox house that's outside the Summers? When Xander arrives in his man suit, he walks past a carpented house mailbox that says Summers. Did he make that for them?
I'm going to go with yes. Because who else? Who else would have done that?
I wonder how much time and effort Xander has put into rebuilding this house.
Oh, that house has been rebuilt time and time again. They should have just... And, as many times as it's been rebuilt, as many times windows and banisters have been replaced, you would think they would try to up the game. Maybe we should get something a little more sturdy. Maybe we should install some sort of
shatterproof windows.
Yeah, or some a panic room or a safety house kind of thing where the shutters come down on all the openings. But no, they just keep doing the same.
Who keeps this house so clean? You think it's Dawn?
Are they barely there, though?
Well, no, because she keeps putting her dishes under her bed. Remember that? They had to yell at her that one year and bring the furry plates down.
Maybe Buffy tried to... I don't know. Are they barely there? Is Buffy actually cooking? Is there...
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Who's keeping these plants alive that they have on all these shelves?
Well, yeah, right? Because I'm sure it was Tara. When she lived there. So, yeah, it's been at least a year since anyone has been there to, actually care for this home.
Right. But they're getting Dawn ready to go to school, and there's an interesting trivia that I found out. This is the first time we've ever seen Dawn in black.
Really?
Hmm. She
Why?
campaigned year after year after year to let her character wear black clothing, but they wanted her in bright colors
Interesting.
to give her a more youthful appearance.
Well,
And so
good.
they finally let her wear black, and she went full in. She's in almost all black.
Well, that's funny because I was thinking that she looks like an assistant district attorney in that outfit. And so I could see why they wanted to
With her
keep
little
her.
checkered sweater.
Right.
She does look much older in this first
Yeah. And
episode.
and I can understand now why they wanted to keep her in bright colors to make her more youthful, because she's a little, like, she looks a little bit older than what she is, and plus she's so much taller than Sarah.
Yeah.
So there's already that. And she's wearing her
Can
little
I ask
heels.
where these kids were going to school for the
Okay.
4 or 5 years?
So I am assuming, like, I thought Dawn was a freshman in high
So
school.
did I. Last season.
Oh, I thought this was the freshman year for her.
So then she would have been in like junior high.
Right. She would have been in 8th
Or
grade
middle school.
last year. Right.
But where were the Sunnydale kids going to school? And why did it take so long?
What was it like?
Like,
Was it
back in season 4, why was there still mare meat on the ground? And that was like 6 months after. That's a health hazard. Just leaving demon meat laying in the sun. Like, ew.
Yeah.
And now we're 2 years later, and they're just now opening this school?
Like, I can't imagine that Sunnydale is big enough for there to be lots of school districts.
Right.
And, Buffy even mentions that she can't switch school districts and she can't afford private school. So maybe they're just all split up around, like they spread them out into different districts.
Or they were teaching them in a fire hall somewhere.
Maybe. So, it's Dawn's first day back to school. Xander brings the blueprints for the new school because he's the foreman, I guess, or was the foreman on the reconstruction of this. And Buffy's concerned about things. And it looks like the principal's office is directly above the Hellmouth, which is where the library was back in Buffy's day.
Sure, I guess they're just going to change everything around, put that much effort into redesigning an entirely new campus.
Yeah. So I guess, Buffy, she's concerned. And then they make a big deal about, oh, I got a gift for you, Dawn, and da-da-da. And then we cut right before she gives her gift for just emergencies only. They get to school, and Buffy's giving her the lowdown, once again, some last-minute instructions. And I like there's a little cute callback to, like, don't talk to any hyena people, or, look out for invisible girls.
Do you think that school was just tired of people filming there?
Maybe it was like, can we?
Y'all are a disruptive force to these kids. We can't ever have class because everyone wants to film here. We're done.
But that was but it wasn't just Buffy. Like, it was like movies were coming in there too.
90210, She's All That. Like, all this was all filmed at that same school. I don't know when those kids ever went to class.
Yeah, how could they get anything done? Was there anybody who actually graduated from that school successfully? Like,
let us know, because I'm super interested. What was a day like at school where you're just like, damn it?
Right.
Seriously, Luke Perry, if you step in front of my locker one more time, I need to get my books. I love you, Dylan, but move your ass.
Right. Seriously, like, the novelty wears off real quick. It's just like, all right, this was really cute a couple weeks ago, but now you're really fucking with me. And my chemistry grade has just plummeted because I can never get to my locker to get my shit.
Right? Speaking of cute, hello, DB Woodside.
Dude.
Welcome.
So, like, we go a whole, 6 seasons without having a significant black character on this show. And then we just, whoa, hello, hi. Oh,
your skin is like
you're cocoa butter.
I want to lick your face, and I don't say that often.
No, and your head, like, sir.
I'm just like, sorry. We do want to have you on the show at some point, so don't listen to this episode.
Yes, he is tall and he is chocolatey and he is, like, smooth and supple and smooth.
Those eyelashes.
He's so smooth and he's funny. He's witty. Like, I don't know how Buffy was able to.
Shook.
I don't know how she was able to hold a conversation at that point. Like, how?
She didn't. She started stammering.
And he, mistakes her for Dawn's mom. And she's like, huh?
It's my mom hair, isn't it? Dawn is just like, no, you're. And I love that because Buffy laughs. She says, "You didn't really think I was her mother," and he's like, "Ooh, but I did." Get him out. And Dawn is just like, "Will you please get out of here? Just go home. I'm fine."
Right. And so she lets her go off to class, but Buffy decides to like tool around in the school and stuff, and
Basically ignoring everything Dawn just said.
right, because she wants to check everything out. And Dawn, she's sitting in class, and they're doing the whole like to this day, I still hate that go around and introduce yourself. Like, why do we do this still at meetings?
Why do we do it in meetings?
Like,
in conference calls.
Right.
I know you.
Well, it doesn't matter. Just
And it could be that insecurity where I'm like, what am I going to say?
Oh, that's definitely it for me. It's like I don't.
Because you're either going to come off pompous,
right,
or too humble. And either way, you kind of look like an asshole. I hate it.
Right. It's too much pressure for like 2 minutes of whatever getting to know you. Nobody's listening anyway.
No.
Like nobody cares.
They're too worried about what they have to say.
Right. I have never walked away from an incident where that's happened and been like, you know what? I want to get to know this person more because they said no, because I have no idea what anybody said.
Yeah.
So as Buffy tools around the school, she goes to the bathroom. She kvetches about her mom hair again.
She's racial profiling as well. That poor kid, that Hispanic kid. She's like, what is he up to? And she starts following him through the halls, and then he just disappears.
Like he had a basketball, Buffy. Calm the fuck down.
Like calm down. She's real suspicious of him.
Yeah.
It's like, calm down.
Did he look dead? Did he have a tail? Like this is just not your jurisdiction. Let it go.
Like you realize you look like a teacher.
Right.
With your mom hair.
Right.
And that's why he looks all shifty and suspicious.
Right, because he's supposed to be in class.
Right.
So she goes to the bathroom and she finds a talisman. She's like, oh, what's this? And she finds a ghost.
Dead people right away. Not surprised.
Buffy, maybe you should just go home.
Although the man did surprise her. He scared the shit out of her, actually.
Yeah.
To the point where, unslayer like, she cowered in a corner.
Yeah. Which what, maybe
that's how I would respond.
Well, maybe it's also just the whole added thing of being in a bathroom, because that's your most vulnerable. Like, had she been on a toilet, God,
right?
Like I can only imagine, like
anywhere near a bathroom,
dude. Like, yeah, it's and I like if it was anything like. Because there was a few weeks ago, I was on the toilet and barefoot, and fucking centipede rolls by, and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do?
I hate them so much.
What do I do?
It happened to me in the shower. I sprayed the shower out for that very purpose. I sprayed everywhere. Nothing. I get in the shower, the fucker runs up the wall. I almost fell out, and I was like, please don't let me die butt ass naked. Like, don't let me fall out of this shower, hit my head on the toilet, and die with my bare ass because of a centipede.
Right.
The fear.
So yes, I get it. The bathroom's a vulnerable place.
So poor Dawn is doing her intro in class, and Buffy just busts in and screams like, we have to get out of here. And Dawn is just like, I also have a sister.
Why would she do that? Like, even like you're still the Slayer. Like, you like keep some cool about it. Like, all you had to do is just like, knock. Can I see Dawn, please?
Right.
That's it. Or even just kind of hang out outside the classroom until
poking your head.
Just let out. Just like, hey, come here. I need to talk to you.
Right. Not completely ruin her social interaction on the first day.
Oh, baby. She never stood a chance.
Halfrek and Anyanka are still hanging out, having some coffee at the espresso pump.
With like being tortured by some terrible acoustic duo.
Yeah, that's going to be our song of the week because Pickens are slim.
Gross.
Yeah, it's pretty. I didn't like that song at all, but like I said, Pickens are slim. Anya, I don't even know why the scene really takes place. Anya's just sad.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not really into being a vengeance demon anymore.
And Halfrick is calling her out on it and says that
Yeah.
everybody's talking about how she's gone soft and how she's not willing to do what she used to do anymore about, like really giving out the vengeance. And she also said that she also makes note that everybody's tail is twitching. Something older than the old ones is rising, and Anya needs to pick a side. It's not the time to be the good guy because,
I picked me. How about that?
Team me. Fuck all y'all.
I'm team me. I'm going to be on the side of whoever is winning. I will flop in a heartbeat if things look to be going poorly. I'll let you know later.
Yes. So Anya gets a little bit concerned about that. And this is where my burn of the week comes in. And Anya's like, what is this, an intervention? Shouldn't all my demon friends be here? And Halfrick literally sips her tea and gives her the side eye like, sweetie, they are.
Ooh. Yep.
Yikes.
There's not a better burn than that.
Yikes.
No better burn than that. Other than the fact that in general, I've never seen Xander look like more of a dad bod.
Things are real squared up for him.
Real squared up. He looks, between season 6 and 7, it looks like he went from being 20 to 40.
Yeah.
He's got the dad job, the dad clothes, like all this manly responsibility. I mean, on one hand, it looks like he actually has stepped up for the Summers girls and he's been helping out a lot.
Right.
He may be paying the bills there.
Right, for all we know.
For all we know, because who is paying the bills? She's not.
It's
There's
still
no
Double
way
Meat Palace.
in California she's taking care of that house and Dawn on a Double Meat Palace salary.
No,
It's not happening.
No, it's impossible. Impossible.
Dead guy with the pencil in her eye.
So Dawn's in class still, and she gets accosted by another ghost. He comes off normal at first, like, hey, can I borrow a pencil? She goes to give him a pencil, and now he's dead, and tries to stab her with it. She freaks the fuck out, blames it on a bee, asks to go to the bathroom. She goes and sees another ghost, and then she makes a friend.
There's such an awkward long amount of time where everyone is just staring at each other after she screams and falls to the ground. The entire class is staring at her. The teacher is like, I don't get paid enough for this. I knew I should have taken this job.
Right, he's
They
like,
told me it was on a Hellmouth and I didn't believe him.
he's looking like, this is my first day. We don't need to be here
graduated.
already. We do not need to be in this situation already.
Ugh.
So,
In the bathroom.
Yeah. So she's, makes a friend who's cowering in the bathroom who's like, hey, someone's in here? Did you see something? Dawn's like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. And then there's a ghost. So they all get all freaked out and whatnot. And in the meantime, Buffy is in the hallway with Principal Wood and they're doing this little verbal dance. Mm-hmm. Like, apparently he knows all about Buffy. He's like, girl, I looked you up. And she's like, why? And he's like, you some trouble. And she's like, why? And so she starts to like convince. He's like, if something about Dawn, and she's like, yeah, Dawn's is much more trouble than me. You should probably expel her now because she's trying to get Dawn the fuck out of there. Then she gets a phone call from Dawn, and she fakes
That's
it off.
the weapon.
Right. The weapon is Dawn got a cell phone,
which was a big deal back then.
Yeah, it was.
Because remember, they were still operating off pagers.
Right. And so, Dawn tells her she's in trouble. She's in the basement, and she passes it off saying that it's her dog walker, and that she asks, are they dead? Who's dead? And he's like, oh my God. Your dogs are dead?
I gotta go.
And she runs off, and he's like, good luck with your dog tragedy.
You know who Alexander Breckenridge is, right?
No, the name sounds familiar.
Okay, so she was in She's the Man. She was Monique in She's the Man. But you'll really remember her from Walking Dead. Her son was the one Carol tied to that tree and made the he basically got the whole family
That
killed.
Carol tied to a tree?
Remember the kid that Carol like traumatized in season maybe 5 or
And
6?
she made him cookies?
Yeah, she made him cookies.
She didn't tie him to a tree.
Didn't she tie him to a tree?
No.
I thought she tied him to a tree.
No, she just got in his head.
Or did she threaten to tie him to a tree?
Yeah, I think she threatened
and leave him. Okay.
Yeah, she.
And then so Alexander Breckenridge's husband was that the abusive one, right?
Oh yeah. Also, she's on This Is Us. Wow.
Yes.
I
Yes,
didn't.
she was also with She was Justin Hartley's girlfriend on This Is Us, and she's got that show Virgin River on Netflix now.
Okay. Yeah, she went from, it's amazing, like, because I hated her on Walking Dead, but loved her on This Is Us.
Hated her on Walking Dead. I hated her whole family. That whole family, I was like, well,
Right.
they're supposed to be silently walking out of that town.
Right.
And her stupid kid.
Mom.
You're all dead now.
I
You're all dead.
would have punched him in the face myself. I would have knocked my own kid. I was like, shut it.
Shut up. You would have just got a look and it'd be like, no, I'm sorry.
And wouldn't have said another word until I said it was okay.
So that's who is running around the school with Dawn.
Wow. I did not recognize her at all.
Mm-hmm. This is the only time we ever see her, so she must not have been that good of a friend.
Which, it doesn't make sense to me, because I feel like those kids, after what they had gone through and after Buffy rescued them, I would have been all up Dawn's ass for the rest of my school career. Like, we would have been.
I really thought they were setting up Dawn's Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
Because this is the exact kind of situation that Buffy found herself in with Willow and Xander in the first episode.
Right.
A really stressful death. Death is on the line kind of situation. But we never see these kids ever again.
Right. Nope. Shame. So yeah, so they're running around. Buffy comes down to the basement to help them. In the meantime, Willow is prophesizing and saying she feels how the earth is basically got teeth and it's gonna swallow them all.
She's freaking out.
Yeah. While she's still in England, like, she's feeling this. So she's going through that. And apparently, like, while they're in this
from Giles,
right, which not bad, not a bad gig. Turns out the basement is like kind of a maze because Dawn and her friend, or Dawn and her and company, are lost, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Them trying to find their way through the basement, they can't find their way out. Buffy gets down there, she can't find them, and there everybody's running around. She
finds the ghosts, and she does have a funny line about how she's the wrong sister. She's the one that dates dead guys.
Right. She's like, but they were hotties. And then she goes on about, but I bet your personality was really good.
And speaking of hot dudes she used to date, she does come across one in the basement.
She almost runs smack dab into him, and it's a beautiful. It's like the typical, reveal in a TV show, which is very, effective. It worked because she goes around the corner, smack, boom, runs into Spike with his shirt a little bit of gape, and his hair grown out, got his roots coming in, and he looks a little dazed, and so Spike's in the basement. She tries to talk to him, and seems to be a little mad, not angry. Dude is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right now.
He is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. As you all will remember, last season he left. He had a horrible incident with Buffy that caused him to flee town to try and. We don't really know what his goal was.
Because he talked, it was a lot of double talk on the way there.
Buffy was going to get what she deserved.
Right. Which, yeah. So he got his soul.
That's what she deserved?
What does this mean? I need you to break it down for me, Spike. Break it down.
You talk for a simple thing? Like,
walk me through it. Walk me through it.
And he's so disoriented, like, she doesn't even know what to do. Like, he gently puts his hand on her face, and she's just like, what is wrong with you?
Yes.
What is happening? And then he lets her get her ass beat by some ghosts.
Well, yeah, because it's like a really fucked up, like, she's got bigger important things on her mind. Like, she's trying to save her sister, she's trying not to get her ass whooped, and then you run into your ex. Come on. Like, that's just enough.
Whose shirt is very agape.
That's enough to, like, really just throw anybody off their game.
And he's just like, don't worry. Nobody comes in here. Nobody comes down here. How long have you been down here?
Because it's to my
Like-
understanding that they how long has this been built? Like, and just like open, and you've just been down here?
Right. And it just makes that so we don't really know what's going on with him, but we know he looks good.
He does. And Buffy is like, trying to make some sense out of his nonsense. And she's talking about how she said something about ghosts. He's like, they're not ghosts. They're spirits manifested by something or another. And there's a talisman involved to get rid of them. And she's like, oh, cool. And then he's like, a 4-year-old could have figured it out. He's like, thanks.
And she notices he has all these scratches on his chest. And they're not faint scratches. He did some damage. And turns out he was trying to cut his heart out.
Or was he trying to claw his soul out?
That too. Either way, it seems like he was trying to end it.
Yeah.
Getting his soul back is having
not a really good effect on him. He's having
not a good effect.
He's having some side effects that probably were not mentioned in the commercial for getting his soul
Angel
back.
skipped over this in the brochure.
Yeah, he absolutely didn't mention this at all. But
he was all homeless and rat eating.
Right, for years.
Dirty rat eating in the sewers, listening to Barry Manilow. When do I get to that part?
For years.
He's crazy in a basement.
And I think there's mention of it too, like when he goes over to Angel and he's like, he was like, I did this, blah, 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 I was suffering for years. Like, you were just like locked in the basement a little crazy for a couple weeks.
There's so much animosity between the two of them. And she's on the phone with Dawn, and he's in the back. He keeps chirping, and now the shirt is just completely open. It started agape, and now it's just.
It's like, take it off,
right? And he keeps giving her little nuggets of wisdom, and she's trying to piece it all together. And at some point, she's just like, you know what? I'll get back to you.
I'm gonna call you back.
I guess I gotta go deal with this. You keep your crazy ass here in the basement.
Right.
I'll be back.
So she tells Dawn, it's like, okay, you can't hurt these things. I just need you to hold them off for a little bit. She calls Xander, is like, this is what I need you to do. He goes up into the bathroom, sees the gaping hole, has a Xander moment. I was like, ooh, contractor goodness. Like, he gets really excited about the hole in the floor. Then he finally remembers what he's there to do and grabs the talisman, breaks it, and the things disappear.
Which, it's kind of like Thanos. I kind of feel for these manifest spirits because they're not wrong. Buffy wasn't there to protect them, and they got murdered in this school. But
so is that
how can she protect everyone?
Right. Like, I was curious at first, like before the old girl talked about being ripped apart by werewolves, I was thinking that they were in the building when it burned down.
That is kind of directly her fault.
Right. Like that.
I mean, like, getting mauled by werewolves, still kind of her fault because she didn't take care of the werewolf problem. But that school blowing up, but that was directly.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think she actually pushed, or Giles pulled somebody. I think they both did.
Because I was absolutely thinking, I was like, yeah, you guys are right.
Yeah, go ahead. You're full on. It's you're right.
But yeah, like I just, and I'm still not exactly sure, like, if these were really dead people, like spirits of dead people that she actually had a hand in, like, their demise, or if it was just the first, like, fucking around. Just
trying. Do they say who did it too? Because if there's a talisman, then somebody called them, right?
Yeah, so we don't know. I think eventually we find out Wood did, but it does not mentioned in this one, in this episode, who did it.
Okay. He's so pretty wearing that suit.
So pretty. So she runs after, everybody's lives are saved, and she tells the kids, good luck, stick together, blah. Principal Wood sees her and is like, oh my God, bro, like, those two are like the worst kids here, like worse than you. And they're off to class. Look at you go. Look at you. You got them all pumped and ready to go to school. How about I give you a job? Huh?
Sure. got, things like qualifications and degrees to work with children.
You ask nothing of her about her work history whatsoever, just because she used to also be a so quote unquote troubled youth. So, how do you know she's still not fucked up? She's still not going out causing crimes.
And as we see, spoiler alert, over the course of this season, she hits on a student,
Right.
tries to kill the principal, and creates several other small felonies. And I think that all happens in one episode.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, Principal Wood, I'm gonna need you to do some better background checks. Was there
He
even
makes her a guidance counselor.
yeah, well, he's very, very careful to not use the word guidance counselor. And he's also, and I think it's funny how he prefaces it with, it only be part-time, only a couple days a week. And, we can't really pay you. The pay is something that you probably couldn't even fold over.
It's but she works at Double Meat Palace. So as long as it's better than that.
Right. And then she's like, oh, my schedule's pretty wonky, but I think I could pull it off. Buffy, how is your daytime schedule wonky? How would you have to work to pull off 2 days a week in the daytime?
Because are you working at Double Meat Palace during the day too? When are you slaying? When are you on, you're on patrol at night.
Right.
So are you working? What do you do all day?
Because it's not always about research. Because it's not always, because I feel like y'all had a few months off. So during the day, what are you doing?
All your research people are gone.
Right.
Anya's not speaking to you.
Right.
Giles and Willow are gone. I'm sure you're not having Skype calls with them for research. Your research is Dawn.
So yeah, so now Buffy has a job at Dawn's school, which, obviously Dawn's going to be thrilled about.
Somebody had to have a job at the school. We knew they had to keep an eye on it.
Right. Back to the basement,
where Warren is speaking to Spike.
And we're like,
and it's at this
how
point,
dare
I'm
you?
What the fuck?
Right. You're like, first I remember being like, how dare you come down there and try to talk to Spike like this?
Right? But then Warren morphs into Glory. And I'm like, wait a minute. What's happening? And they're just talking shit.
Two around and about
shit.
Spike. and Glory morphs into Adam. And then Adam morphs into, is it Drusilla?
The Master?
Yeah. No, the Mayor.
The Mayor.
And then the Mayor morphs into Drusilla. Drusilla into the Master. Which, did Spike ever even, meet the Master?
I'm going to assume yes. At some point, there was probably a time when Darla, after,
right,
remember, they took Angelus back.
Right, I know, yeah, she did introduce Angelus to the Master.
And I know she kept Spike and Drew for some time after Angel fled. Because they were together. That's
right, yeah.
So he may have met the Master, but I don't think he ever met the Mayor. I'm not sure he would have even known who that was.
I think I have a recollection of the Mayor talking about Spike being up to his old tricks again.
Yeah. When the deputy mayor came and when he came in season 3 for
okay, yeah, but you're right. Spike probably never actually met him.
Yeah, but Spike never met them. They know who he was, but I don't know if he knew who they were.
Gotcha. And then, so basically, it's, this, whatever this entity is that is morphing from big bad to big bad to big bad is just kind of bullying Spike, doing a lot of shit talking about around and over and to Spike. And he's just on the floor cowering. And finally, this entity morphs into, one of the things that's said is we're going back to the beginning before the Big Bang. And I don't know why that gives me chills. Where they're we're going back to the beginning. I was like, yes.
And when that line happens, that's when it morphs into the Master. And it's just like, oh shit.
Yes.
And I didn't think it could get any better. And then it morphed into Buffy.
Yes.
And it was like, what the fuck? If people were doing reaction videos now, that would be a
Fallout.
Play that again, fam, right now.
Exactly. Fallout, kick the camera over, lights are all ablaze. What's happening? And then she says, I forget what it's like. It's not about strength or something, but
It's about power.
she says it's about the power. And that's echoing what Buffy says, actual Buffy says earlier in the episode to Dawn. And it's just like, yes.
Yep. And so what we will learn very quickly is we've met this villain before. It's the first.
Which, when did we meet
met
him?
it back in season 3.
With Jenny?
Yeah, it was pretending to be Jenny.
Right, okay.
So the thing we learn about the first is that the first can only take the guise of someone who has died.
Right. And then
So
you're like, but what about
why-
Buffy? Because
Yeah.
Buffy did die.
You're like, Buffy's died twice.
Yeah. Didn't you guys remember the song?
Right. And so, but we lost our shit.
Yeah.
Like, this was a pretty ho-hum episode until that moment. And it was just like, well, here's your budget.
Right.
Here's where you spent all your money.
Like, yeah. So, like, you know, at season 7, from what I recall, and it's also like the least revisited for me on a personal level, is that the most memorable stuff and the most like really the things that had happened that really had some sort of like shock value for me or effect on me was the stuff that happens with Spike, like Spike's storyline. So
And those are the only episodes I really watched too.
Yeah.
Because we're about to get into some potential slayers are about to come to town.
And
And I'll tell you
Ashanti.
guys, it's rough.
And Ashanti.
And Ashanti shows up for no damn reason.
For no good reason.
Except the CW was like, Ashanti, Shanti, Shanti's coming. Ashanti's here. Everybody look, we've got Ashanti this week. And we're like, why? For
like,
what reason?
Like, y'all could have kept her. Like, wait, this was unnecessary.
And nobody asked for her.
No.
And there are nuggets of beauty in this season.
Mm-hmm.
When we finally get to the backstory of Robin Wood,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
wonderful episode.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that they recast his mother. That really bothered me.
Mm-hmm. Same.
It really, really bothered me. The episodes where there's weird shit going on with Spike. When Andrew and Jonathan come back. But on a whole, the season's not good.
Right.
And even the finale itself, we'll talk about it when we get there, but even that's kind of a letdown.
Yeah. Like to end a whole show, it's like, all right.
Okay.
For a series finale, it's just like, cool.
Okay. But like we said, there are moments of glory
Hit.
that I can't wait to get to.
Yes. All right. So bodies dropped.
There were actually for a first season or first episode of the season, there were quite a few. There was an unidentified potential slayer that got stabbed by one of the first harbingers of death. Pelletetti was beheaded by Buffy with a sword, and 3 spirits were banished by Xander when he broke the talisman.
Banished.
Not gone, but
Yeah.
still, that's a pretty decent body count.
Yeah. For episode 1 of the first season. Did it pass the Bechdel test? Yeah, I think so.
I guess so.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Ooh, some
Random trivia. We already talked about both of them. This is, it's not the place that they call it in the episode. It's actually Somerset, England. I'm assuming at the time they just called it some fake English town. They didn't want everyone flocking to where
right.
Anthony lives.
Exactly. Because yeah, that would be totally worth the price of an airfare.
But apparently they did the scenes at his estate because to avoid complications doing business in Britain. I don't know what that means. It sounds super shady to me.
To avoid complications in doing business in Britain. So like y'all didn't want to pay taxes on somebody's on something else?
That's what I'm thinking. So whatever. Okay. And that the horse that Giles rides in that scene is actually Anthony's horse, and his name is Otto.
All right, Anthony, we get it. You live a lavish lifestyle in England. Congratulations on all your success.
The last one, we talked about Dawn and her colorful clothing, and the last one was that Willow's mentor's name is Miss Harkness. But when I was watching it today, the closed caption said her name was Harkness. So I don't, when I thought it was Harkness and the trivia told me it was, this trivia came up, was that if it's Harkness, is it Agatha? Like that Agatha? That Harkness?
Who's Agatha?
Agatha Harkness is a Marvel character, and Joss did write for X-Men. Agatha is a witch, and she shows
Oh.
up in WandaVision.
Huh.
Um, training. She's a witch trainer, and sometimes her intentions are good, sometimes they're bad. We don't know. She's just
Interesting.
she raised like Sue Storm and Mr. Fantastic's kid in the comics, and she's got a very long history in the comics. But I thought that would be interesting if they name dropped her being Willow's mentor.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. The moral of the story is don't rush into things. Formulate a plan, make a program, do the work in every aspect of life. I feel like everybody's rushing into things.
Yeah.
But Willow's actually taking the time.
Right.
Like she's working the program. She's formulating a plan. She is doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Buffy's just like, we got to get into Sunnydale right now. We got to do it. And look what you did. You ran in there without a plan. You almost got everybody killed. So guys, just slow down a little bit. Don't rush into things. Formulate a plan, make a program, and do the work.
Yeah. All right. So let us know what you think of lessons and what lessons you may have learned from this episode. You can send an MP3 file less than 2 minutes to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com and we might play it on the air. Or you could just get at us on Twitter or Facebook. Next week's episode is Beneath You, one of my favorites of this episode of this season.
It eats your bottom. You just like Spike walking down the alley with the little.
Oh, there's that, and then there's also the draping over the cross. Can we rest now?
So much. There's so much spiky goodness.
Can we rest?
Oh, the gifts that were made and the
yes. So subscribe, follow, like us, please. You can follow me, Camila, on Twitter at @the_rugged_angel.
Or me, Marcella, at a new address.
Ooh.
Hello, Marcella _.
Oh, look at you making it official and whatnot.
Right?
I like
it.
it.
That Brandon thing.
I like it. I like it. Branding. That's what it's all about. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening and thanks for keeping in touch. And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.